you can win a brand new jet bike! Hailing from a time period when nothing is new and everything's destroyed, this jet bike comes in a sleek blue and yellow. It only has one wheel, too. Equipped with 3 nitrous gauges, it's sure to give you a thrilling high-speed ride. It can be yours if the price is right. Back to you, Bob. Oh, hi there, and welcome to part 12 of Chrono Trigger. Today we are going to be exploring Site 32. Immediately upon entering, you can actually pick yourself up a mid-potion, and then we could head up where we are going to find a nice new jet bike. Kinda looks out of place, don't you think? I mean, it's all shiny and blue, and everything around us looks like mush. Yeah, well, let's ride. Oh. Enemies. Well, time to fight. This new enemy. Okay, I'm joking. Not gonna fight. It's a lie. Well, hi there, bro. What's up? Oh, thanks for the intro, boys. This is Johnny. And we lowlifes can call him that. He's the leader of this robot pack. I love Johnny. He's so cool. If you don't understand this character design, Johnny is literally like a vehicle, an operational vehicle robot. I don't really get it, but he's really cool. So he's gonna ask if we shiny axles know how to ride. No, as a matter of fact, I've never driven a jet bike in my life. Anyways, there's only one speed, fast. You use the control pad to steer, the B button for a turbo boost. You get 3 of them. And basically your goal is to finish in first. So Johnny's challenging you to a race. Well, let's race. Now, this is a mini game, and it's actually a pretty cool one at that. The controls, like I said, were made pretty clear. I actually, just today, I kid you not, learned that you can press X and A to zoom the camera in and out. I did not know that. Anyways, like Johnny said, there is one speed. He wasn't kidding. Fast. Basically, when you get behind, you'll try to pass him, and when he gets behind, he'll try to pass you. It's one of those things where you kind of have to play it to understand how it works. Once you've played it, it'll feel like you understand what I'm talking about. Generally speaking, you could drive the whole race, and it doesn't really matter unless you win at the very end. Now, there is a score that goes along with your race, and depending on the score you get, you can actually earn some prizes. Now, I'll get into that in a little bit. You kind of have to race Johnny at first to get across. If you lose to him, he'll tell you, hey, if you can't beat me, you can walk. Basically, if you plan on using this mini-game at all, you should cross Site 32, which I'm going to cover right now. Why? Because there's an important item we can get here that's related to the racing game. And then once I get this item, I'll go into the racing game in a little bit more detail. Anyways, crossing Site 32 is pretty straightforward. The main thing to say about this place is it sucks. It's a really irritating location. Basically, you fight you fight lots of mutants, like, lots of mutants. This place has 2 enemies, mutants, and it has one little set of the shadows that we've been seeing. So, it's just really irritating. I know I mentioned how to fight mutants in Site 16, and I'll give a little bit of a reminder. Oh, snap, I forgot to heal at the Endertron. Whoops! I probably should have done that. Okay, well, I'm still gonna get through this place anyways. Basically, mutants are just really bulky. That's all that needs to be said about them. And there's a lot of them here, and you fight them in bulk. So these battles can end up being really long and really tedious. Site 32 is definitely one of the more frustrating areas of the future that I find, just because, like I said, it's really tedious. It's not that these battles are hard, it's just that they take forever. They require a lot of time, they require a lot of hit points. It's just irritating. Now, you don't have to walk through Site 32. If you don't want to, you never have to walk through this place in your entire life. I do recommend it, especially if you're relatively new to the game and I just recommend fighting for experience and whatnot. You don't have to come here, but as per usual, I'm going to recommend that you do. The mutants will give you a little experience, and then, like I said, you can get a good item that is related to the race. And even if you're not a huge fan of the racing minigame, it is actually surprisingly really fun. It may not seem like it, but I've killed a lot of time on that minigame. There's just something oddly addictive about it. Anyways, we have a group of shadows here, and that is guarding the one item we need. Keep in mind, Whirlwind and Flamethrower are still probably the only things you can use on it. Yeah, you should be able to line up Wind Slash to hit 3, if you're lucky 4 of them, and then knock them out in bulk. Now over here you could grab the race recorder. This is the whole reason we came through Site 32. Site 32 is not long. It's one screen length of a map. So it won't take you long to get through this place at all. The race recorder is basically... It adds a new layer of depth to the minigame because it allows you to switch between 2 modes. Now I'll just explain it while I fight the mutants so I don't waste time explaining it later. Basically, the racing game with Johnny has 2 types of modes. The first mode is the mode that you start out with, Turbo Mode. Now Turbo Mode lets you use 3 little boosts by pressing the B button. Now those little boosts can help you win at the very end. If you do struggle with the race with Johnny, the strategy is to just sit behind him, and then at the last minute, when there's 50 units of space left, just adjust to pass him, and then pass him and win. That's probably the best way if you're struggling with the race. Don't feel bad if you lose it. It may take a little getting used to. Once you've raced the race a few times, it'll make a lot more sense, and you'll get more comfortable with it. It may sound cliche, but practice makes perfect, and it's really true with the race. I find that practice does indeed make a lot of perfect. Oh my, I got a 3-person Wind Slash off. That's pretty sweet. Anyways, the other mode is no turbo mode. Now you may be thinking, why would I want to hinder myself with no turbo? Well, you see, there's actually a good explanation to that. When you switch to no turbo mode, you can press the L and R buttons to rotate the camera. And it may not sound that important, but being able to shift the camera to be a viewpoint from behind you actually makes it a lot easier to play the racing game. So, it's up to you which mode you race. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I find that no turbo mode is the method of choice. I think that it is a lot better. Anyways, with the race recorder in hand, you could head over to Johnny and be like, hey, I have a race recorder, and he's going to introduce you to his new friends, RXXR. Greetings, racing life forms. I am RXXR, the record keeper. And basically, he will keep track of your 3 highest scores. So, it's a mini game. If you have no interest in it, don't worry about it. But you can surprisingly kill a lot of time on this. And you can actually earn some prizes from this. You may not know it, but I'll point it out now. First off, let me show you the new mode of racing. Press the R button or the L button, And this makes racing infinitely easier because you can stay in front of him. Now the way the score works is when you're in front of him, you gain points. When you're behind him, you lose points. So depending on your score at the end of the race, you can earn a variety of prizes. If your score is 777, which is incredibly difficult to do, you can get 10 mid-ethers. If you get a score of more than 1300, you can get 5 mid-potions. If you get a score of more than 1500 for one time only, you can get a strength capsule. 2000 or more gets you 5 ethers, and 2300 or more gets you 5 ethers, high ethers, correction. And you can earn all these prizes multiple times except for the strength capsule. Now the max score on this game, if I am correct, I want to say 2371. So there is actually a max score to this game, believe it or not. It is possible to achieve. I've seen people do it. I've never done it myself. I think my highest score was in the 1800s or 1900s. But I've never honestly spent too much time with it. I might have gotten a score over 2000. I don't know. I've played this game a lot, so I can't say for sure. Now, I've also heard that if you get a score with repeating numbers, you can get a random item, an ether, a mid-ether, or a high potion. I have not been able to confirm this because it's really hard to duplicate that, or at least try to get a score of that nature. But if you get a random item like that, that might be why. Anyways, the racing game is pretty fun. It takes some practice, but if you like it, go ahead, play around with it. I think it's a lot of fun. I've spent a lot of time with it in the past. Probably not as much as I should have because I've never gotten a perfect score, and that's kind of like, to be honest, getting a perfect score on this racing game is probably the one of the few things I've never done in Chrono Trigger that I should do. Anyways, that actually wraps up the part. This wasn't a long one. Site 32 is very short. So next time we shall explore Proto Dome. Thank you and good night.